I'm gonna flash back the encounter. Okay, perfect. There you go. Terror of the Peaks and Trumpeting Carnasaur. That's how you do this. They'll come in, they'll trigger... I'll put this one in my hand. Surveil doesn't matter. Good afternoon, or evening, depending on your time zone, and welcome to Deck Tech Daily. If you're new to Magic the Gathering Arena, or need a little bit of guidance, then this is the channel for you. Today we are looking at a deck I call Random Encounter in the standard format Best of 1, because it revolves heavily around this card, Random Encounter. Now this is the win condition for this deck. It's a pretty unique card. Basically you mill the top 4 cards of your library, and all the creatures you milled you place onto the battlefield, and they gain haste for that turn. So what we're hoping for is we get cards like Craterhoof Behemoth, the Vaultboard Tyrant, the Trumpeting Carnasaur that are on top of the deck that get milled. And if Carnasaur gets milled, its Discover 5 activates, and any of the 5-mana creatures will come onto the battlefield that turn and gain haste. So basically it should be a guaranteed win, assuming we can get Random Encounter off. Now it is a 6-cost sorcery, so basically in order to get up to the 6 cost fast enough, we have a ton of weaker creatures that can help us ramp, which is the terminology for getting lands and mana as fast as possible. Llanowar Elves tap add a green mana. The Gabu Gardener, so tap it, same thing, add a green mana. Overgrown Zealot, tap add a mana of any color. That's also because we do need 2 red mana at least to get Random Encounter to go off. And we have 23 lands to be specific. Will this deck work? I'm not sure. It's a pretty risky type deck, but nonetheless, we're going to try it. Let's see how it goes. Random Encounter, standard format, best of 1, match number 1. So we get to go first. Definitely lucky. Okay, so we have the Random Encounter in hand. 2 lands. 2 of our tougher creatures. So they're kind of not good to have in our opening hand. We do have a Llanowar and an Overgrown Zealot. I guess I'm going to chance it and keep it. So definitely going to begin off with the green and the elves. Now let's see what type of deck we're playing against. The season's almost over. It's November. At the beginning of the month it resets. So it's October 30th at the time of this uploading. Overgrown Zealot. I guess I shall swing for one. If we get lucky and we draw a land next turn, we'll have... Ooh, we did. So we should... Not quite enough to play Random Encounter yet, unfortunately, but we can... Well, the Trumpeting Carnasaur, for 3, we can discard it. It deals 3 damage to a creature. We don't need that at the moment. We can play a Terror of the Peaks, though. It looks like we're up against a Boros type deck, so they... Oh, apparently that was enough to make them surrender. Random Encounter, standard format, best of 1, match number 2. Opponent gets to go first this time. 2 elves and Esper Origins. Overlord, it's a tougher creature, but its impending is really good to help us ramp for mana. And with Esper Origins, we can Surveil to hopefully we'll dig through our deck for the Random Encounter. So I'll definitely keep this hand. The last match, it was technically a victory, but I would consider that more of a fluke victory. So I wouldn't technically count that as a victory for this deck yet. However, I'm going to try to get the win con of this deck to go off, just so you can see how it works. So a green, and definitely an elves to begin with. That's always like the best opening play for any green deck. A land and Llanowar Elves, just so next turn I can play another land and hopefully get a 3 drop down. So green and blue. Usually that's the Simic is the name for that, which is like the green and blue color combination. Okay, so... I could Esper Origins or just get more... You know what? Yeah, let me get the Impending going. It's also like a clock, so Just in case I'm still alive, I'm guaranteed to get an Overlord, a 6/5 creature into play. Well, I guess 3 turns, technically. So now, as long as he doesn't kill the elves, I have 4 mana. Oh, Jill, I haven't seen this card in a while. Why would he bounce that back to hand? He knows I can just play it again and get... Huh. Okay, so... I wish I could play Terror of the Peaks, but no red mana at the moment. I will, however, play the Overlord, non-impending. That's why I don't get why he bounced that to hand. It kind of helped me that he did that. And I'll get another land, add 1 mana of any color every time Overlord comes into play. So now I have enough to play Terror of the Peaks. If I draw another basic land, I'll actually get to play the Vaultborn Tyrant next turn. Unfortunately, no. So instead, I'll just play the Temple of the Abandoned, Scry. Yeah, I have plenty of lands. I really need the random encounter, so I'll just ditch that land. So, I guess I'll, get Terror of the Peaks going. Just so when I play, if I can play the Vaultborn Tyrant next turn, that'll trigger Terror of the Peaks. So whenever a creature enters, he deals damage to the opponent equal to that creature's power. So Vaultborn Tyrant's 6. So that's definitely amazing. So, okay. I guess I will swing with the Overlord. That'll create another land. So yeah, I'll definitely have more than enough lands next turn. I don't think he has any field wipes. This is green and blue. I don't even know of any field wipes that exist in that color combination. So I'm going to go ahead and throw another elf there. I could do it to his face, or... decisions. Do I get rid of the Paw Patch or the elves? The elves is... If I target the elves, then the Paw Patch is going to trigger and he'll get a +1/+1 counter. However, I want him to have as little mana as possible. So I'm going to target the elves. Actually, now I think of that, couldn't he have put the +1/+1... Oh, other than that creature. Okay, I misread that. I was thinking, couldn't he just put the counter on the elves, thus making it a 2/2 creature? And thus it wouldn't die from the Terror of the Peaks. So now he only has 3 mana compared to my 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. That's definitely mana advantage there. I also don't want him to transform Jill, because for 5 he can exile it and transform into the Shiva, Warden of Ice, but it's not really that great if he did transform it. Why? Does he have something in hand? I feel like if I block with the Terror of the Peaks, he's going to play something to boost Jill. So, I'm just not going to block. I'm going to gain all that life back anyways when I play the Tyrant next turn. Okay, so now here comes the Tyrant. Controller. Okay, so Manifest Dread. Do I do the Tyrant or the Carnasaur? Wow, that's a tough decision. Let me do the Tyrant. Yeah, definitely the Tyrant. Okay. And I'm going to get rid of that. Because I had a creature that came in, so the Terror of the Peaks triggers. Let me go ahead and Surveil. I don't need lands. Hopefully random encounters coming up soon. We're pretty deep in. Already 16 cards through our deck now. Okay, so I shall swing with these 2. I'll get another land, not that I really need it. He's down to 3. So basically, we can just play the Sagu next turn. That'll trigger the Terror of the Peaks for the 3, and just do that to his face and win. So yeah, this deck, even if you don't get random encounter off, like, it's still a pretty good deck that you can use. I guess I'm gonna block the Paw Patch. Well, there you go. Random encounter, standard format, best of 1, match number 3. Our opponent goes first this time. This is a tough one. Because Terror of the Peaks, it's a 5-drop. But let's see. We have the Elves. And then assuming Elves doesn't get eliminated, we'll play our second land and play the Overlord. That'll give us a 4th land. Then hopefully we'll draw at least one more land so we can start playing Terror of the Peaks. And then survive long enough to play off the random encounter. That's my game plan. Uh-oh, everything comes... Whoa, shoots. That has to be like the biggest weakness of this deck, because... Yeah, the creatures will come in, and gain haste, but they also go back to my hand at the end of the turn. So that one card, the opening hand, kind of destroyed our entire win con. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Well, that is definitely a weakness of this deck that I shall need to take into consideration. A way to remove that annoying enchantment that's in almost every mono-white deck. Okay. Well, he got rid of the elves, but at least he's, like, you know, thinning out his hand, so I know he doesn't have much to play against me. So let me play this. The Gardener. Even if we can attack, at least we'll get more creatures in our hand next turn, so... Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and Impending the Overlord. And have this intertapped. So now, if he doesn't eliminate the Gardener, I'll have 5 mana. So I can start playing my Terror of the Peaks. He only has 4 cards in hand. White and blue, so you might have a counter. Okay, I have 6. I could actually... You know what? I'm thinking of... I'm going to play the Terror of the Peaks. If he does have removal or counter, he'll waste it on this one. Then the following turn, I can just play another Terror of the Peaks. I don't want to waste my Carnasaur just yet. I could play the random encounter, but I can't attack that same turn because of this freaking card. Let me go ahead and play Terror of the Peaks. If anything, even though I won't be able to attack the same turn, all the creatures that enter will at least trigger Terror of the Peaks and he'll do damage to the opponent. See, he's looking at it. He's got... Okay. So I got him to waste one of those at least, the field wipe. Okay. Now let me go ahead and play another Terror. It's probably like, what? I thought I got rid of that card. And the countdown for the Overlord is happening. Just one turn left, so that's good. Does he have more removal, though? Well, like, what's his strategy? What's he actually trying to do other than just build land and wipe the field? Okay. Decisions. Should... You know, I'm gonna do the Carnasaur. I could do the random encounter or the Carnasaur. Regardless, I can't attack because of this freaking card. But so, I'm gonna just chance with the Carnasaur. He doesn't counter. Great. So at least do 7 damage to his face. Okay, so not a great card for the Discover. But I got a Trumpeting Carnasaur on top, so I can do that again next turn. And I get to swing for 5. And the Overlord should come in. Okay, so now he has to do something or it's game over for him next turn. Does he have another field wipe, though? Is it a Jeskai deck? He doesn't have a... Okay, so he doesn't have the cards in hand needed to win, then. Or at least defend for this turn, so he's trying to dig for them. But now he's just down to 3 mana. Okay, well now he has 4. Okay, so there's his second field wipe. Okay. So, yeah, let me do the Carnasaur and see if this works. Not the best either. Okay, well, so at this whole... He used 3 Days of Judgment. He can only have at least 1 more in his deck. And he only has 2 cards in hand. What's he trying... He's looking at, like, the lands. Okay, so he got rid of the Overlord land, which lets me choose a land of any color. That's fine. So... That was actually a pretty smart play, because now... I can't play the random encounter now, because I don't have 2 red sources. So that was actually pretty smart of him. So, let me do the Zealot. That lets me create a mana of any color. So next turn I can definitely play the random encounter. And Esper Origins out the... I don't need starting town. Yeah, I guess I'll keep that in hand. Or on top of my deck, I should say. Okay, so he wasted his removal, but at least I get the Sagu in hand. He only has 2 cards, so he used a Get Lost, 3 Days of Judgment. He just played another land, so just 1 card. Okay, so he's getting rid of the... Okay. I still have enough to play the Vaultborg Tyrant next turn. As long as he doesn't get rid of the Zealot. Okay. Let me go ahead. Unless he has a counter spell, but that will be his last card in hand. So at least now if he removes the Tyrant, it creates a token that's a copy of itself. Okay, Terror of the Peaks. Okay. So even if he plays removal, at least now I can just continuously throw tough creatures at him. Yeah, drawing Council of the Star Charts this late in the game is pretty good because he gets to dig 9 cards into his deck. And he played the Kicker, I think, so that means he gets to draw 2 of those. Thing about like the Azorius decks are so boring because like he's just digging through his deck, just constantly playing like field wipes. How many are in my graveyard? So it's a mill deck is what we were going up against. Okay. So So let me play Terror of the Peaks. Let me go ahead and buff him. Yeah, I guess I'll keep it there. Let me go ahead and buff him some more. And I'll swing for 8. Does he have any lands? I mean, he's an 8/8 and trample, so I doubt even if he has the lands, like, he can't, like, block this well. So I am worried about this card. Oh, come on. Although it's going to make a copy, at least. All 4 Days of Judgments he got. See, how come I never have that kind of luck? Okay. How should I do this? Scry, yeah, let me see what's on the top. I don't need that. Okay. So I'm gonna go for the random encounter. The Discover from the Carnasaur activates, but you know, the L's isn't the best. I really wish I had a Terror of the Peaks there, because then I pretty much would have won. I can also flashback random encounter. Let me think. Yeah, I guess I'll just pass this turn. Unfortunately, all of these are going to come back to hand. I will get to swing for 6, though. Okay. I know if he let's see, mill 2 cards. Oh, come on. Well, at least that was his last card in hand. So I guess his strategy is just playing field wipes and removal over and over again until the match goes on long enough that your graveyard fills up, and then he can mill you with a monument. Okay, like, interesting strategy. The main thing is I need to add something that can get rid of this enchantment. If I did that, I definitely would have won. How many Terror of the Peaks do I have? I have 1 there. 2, 3. So unfortunately, all 3 of them are in the graveyard. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to win this. Let me think. So, yeah, because regardless, he can just have a mill 2 cards. Yeah, so I can't win this. Random encounters, standard format, best of 1, match number 4. Okay, so we get to go first. The Stomping Ground, Forest, the encounter, okay. Some ramp. Okay, I shall keep this hand. Gonna play the forest and the Sagu to search for another forest. Okay, so I'm debating. Yeah, let me just go ahead and get the Zealot as like a wall. He's a 0-4. I'm kind of hesitant on playing him because like it's only the Stomping Ground and the Zealot are my two red sources, which I need to play either the Carnasaur or the Random Encounter. I should be fine. So the Hylia, yeah, he's going to gain a few life and... Okay, I've seen this type of deck before. Okay. So... Gonna play this. And this. No attacks. Now I have 6 mana. Needed to play either the Carnasaur or the Encounter. Oh, come on. Okay, no, it's fine. So the Awaken the Aunt destroyed the Zealot, but it's okay. We'll just have to pay 2 life for the Stomping Ground. Now, let's see if this works. Random Encounter. A little bit, I guess. We got the Sagu, so we gained, well, some life. And they'll bounce back to hand. Okay. We can also flashback Random Encounter. We have 2 of them now. One of them must have been milled as a result. Okay. Yeah, not the best I could have wished for, but it's something. Okay, so he's going to destroy 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, no worries. Let's do the Carnasaur now. Discover 5. Let's get something good. Oh, good one. Terror of the Peaks. So Awaken the Honor Dead. Return a land card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, so he gets what's starting town back. Okay, not bad. So this one is Surveil. I believe the way this deck works is he's trying to get these 0/1 green plant creature tokens and get a whole ton of counters on them. So he warps this in. And he brought back... Okay. That returns a non-land card back to the field. So he chose Awaken the Honored. Okay, and he destroyed the Tyrant. That's fine. The Reclaimer will bounce back to his hand because he warped it in, I believe. Yeah, so there it goes. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess let me get him out. I'll gain 3 more life. Let me go ahead and play another elf. And swing with the Carnasaur. He's only at 13. Okay, now he's only down to 6. Assuming I survive, I should be able to play another Random Encounter and win next turn. He's milling a bunch of cards to his graveyard. Let's see. Disruptive Stormbrood. And this disrupt a 1-target artifact or enchantment. Nothing in here too threatening. He did mill a few more. A land overlord. Okay. Yeah, it revolves around getting these, the plants, and putting tokens on them. He's not doing it super fast, though. Because I've seen this used once before, and they got, like, 10 tokens, and they were all, like, you know, 15 +1/+1 counters on them super fast. Okay, so this one, he's warping it back, and he's going to destroy the Carnasaur. Okay. What is when this creature enters, return target non-creature, non-land permanent card with mana value X from your graveyard to the battlefield. Where X is the amount of mana spent to cast this creature. Warp is 3, so okay. And this is a 3-drop. Okay, I get it. So I'm going to do a random encounter flashback. Okay, good. A Carnasaur and a Sagu. Discover 5. I'll swing with all of these. So we should have game. He's going to block it, but the Carnasaur has trample. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So they'll all die, but okay. So he survived. That's impressive. We have one more random encounter that we can flashback. Assuming we survive this turn and he doesn't have some sort of, you know, master plan to turn the match around in his favor. This is a pretty good card, the Reclaimer, because he keeps being able to play these Awaken the Honored Dead from his graveyard. And when he doesn't warp it in, that's a 5 mana cost, so he can choose... So yeah, he can just keep bouncing them back to the field when he plays these, so it's not bad. Okay, he warped Hyleia, and so she'll come back. Ooh. Terror of the Peaks. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I wish I could play Terror of the Peaks, then Random Encounter. But, you know, I'm going to flash back the encounter. Okay, perfect. There you go. Terror of the Peaks and Trumpeting Carnasaur. That's how you do this. They'll come in, they'll trigger... I'll put this one in my hand. Surveil doesn't matter. Well, that was it for the demonstration of the Random Encounter deck in the standard format Best of 1. Overall, the deck is decent. It does have its flaws. For example, if Authority of the Consuls is in play, that basically neutralizes this whole deck because it relies so heavily on Random Encounter and the Discover 5 to throw creatures out and attack that same turn. Ways the deck can be improved, well, Authority of the Consuls is definitely a weakness of this deck. Maybe swap out a couple of the creatures for something like... Where'd it go? The Behemoth. Here it is. The Colossal Behemoth. When this enters, you can destroy an artifact or enchantment or draw a card. So, also the Planeswalker Vivian Reed. For its -3, destroy target artifact or enchantment or a creature with flying. Just ways to get around that card if it's in play. So, if there's any other ways you feel this deck can be improved, feel free to leave it in the comments. I thank you very much for tuning in and hope you have a good day.